What's going on, everybody? You have Tone here, back with some more Draft League content. This time, bringing you guys Week 6 of the PBAL Season number 3, where this week your Miami Malamarlins are taking on the Athens Hydras, coached by Koala. If you guys missed any of my previous battles, there'll be a playlist in the description down below, so you can feel free to check those out. So if you guys missed my Week 5 battle, we took on Aaron and his Roman Polions. We came away with a 5-0 win, and we are currently still undefeated 5-0 on the season, heading into this matchup against the Athens Hydras, who are currently 2-3 heading into this matchup. And let me be quite honest, when it came to this matchup, this was probably by far the hardest matchup I had to prep for. Not really because that I didn't really feel like I had the matchup per se, but more so the fact that his team was very, very annoying in terms of certain mons, and on top of that, he had the Smeargle, which means I have to deal with another sticky web user, and I really do not like dealing with webs. Like, it hasn't burnt me yet, but I feel like at some point it's gonna come and bite me in the butt at some point in this season with my real lack of hazard control outside of bringing defog on something. But nonetheless, this team that I built though, let me just first state that I went back and forth with like half this team. Not so much the mons, more so the items, and you'll see what I'm talking about as the battle progresses. Actually, you'll see it right away as the battle begins. So basically, this team that I built, it really wasn't the fact that I felt comfortable with the team, but there was technically two things I had a problem with. The first one was the items, and the second one was I built a team that was so weak to Mega Aerodactyl because I did not bring my Mega Aerodactyl response, which was technically supposed to be my Swampert. I did not bring Swampert this game. I don't remember why I didn't bring Swampert, but for some reason, I didn't bring it. And Mega Aerodactyl literally feasts on my team, and I do not like that. Nonetheless, though, the team I ended up building was... just to quickly run it down, I have this Tapu Koko with Wild Charge, Brave Bird, U-Turn, and I believe it's Defog. I think I went back and forth between Defog and Nature's Madness on this thing. I'll get back to the item in a second. But next up is my Greninja, which is Choice Scarf with Waterfall, Ice Punch, U-Turn, and Rock Slide for the Volcarona. I have a bulky Sheer Force Life Orb, Nidoqueen with Stealth Rock, Sludge Wave, Flamethrower, and Ice Beam. I have a Choice Scarf Buzzwole with Ice Punch, Drain Punch, Leech Life, and Rock Slide. I have a Leftovers Noivern with Defog, not Draco Meteor. I think it's like Defog, Hurricane, Flamethrower, Hidden Power Ice. And then lastly is my Kecleon, which is Assault Vest with Drain Punch, Knockoff, Rock Slide, and Fire Punch. So yeah, as you see, my opponent, the Fire Punch was not just for the Superior, it was also there for the Bronzong, which he did not end up bringing in this matchup. Nonetheless, though, I do feel like I made some very, very questionable plays when I played this match out. And you'll see what I'm talking about as I play the battle here. So I'm just going to start the battle here. I'm going to lead off with my Tapu Koko, and I'll pretty much go through what exactly went wrong in this matchup per se. So he leads off with the Mega Aerodactyl here. I'm going to lead off with my Tapu Koko, and right away I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to stand, click Wild Charge, knock this thing out, because my mind is thinking that I put Sugar Berry on this Tapu Koko, and I'm like, I can eat this Earthquake, Wild Charge, and knock out pretty much the biggest threat to my team. But then he goes for Earthquake, and I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Why did my Sugar Berry not activate? So, yeah. I pretty much derped right away, turn 1, because it turns out I didn't put Sugarberry on my Koko. I originally had Flying EMZ on Koko, and I'm like, wait a minute, this team is very, very weak to Aerodactyl. Let me make Flying EMZ Sugarberry. And then I'm like, okay, that's a great idea. So I'm gonna put the berry on my Koko, so I can lift the Earthquake from the Aerodactyl, Wild Charge, take this thing out. But then I'm like, I never put Sugarberry in the game. It still had the Z Crystal. And the minute I noticed that my Koko was dead turn 1, I'm like, oh man, I am screwed. Like, super, super screwed right now. Because not only did I do the one thing Styx would never do, let the Tapu Koko die turn 1, I sacked the Mon that did so much work against his team turn 1. If you look at everything past the Zero Aura, it did work. And I'm mad I let it go down turn 1. But then again, I really wasn't myself, to be perfectly honest. I'm not gonna make any excuses in this game, but nonetheless, I just had like a very derp moment here, because I thought I had an item on my Koko that I thought I took off and put for a Sugarberry. Turns out I didn't do that, and my Koko is dead turn 1. So then my next prayer of mine is, well, I gotta go my Nidoqueen. If he's jolly with Aqua Tail, I can take the hit. But he's gonna switch out and go out into his Volcarona here, and I'm like, crap, I wish I had kept Rock Slide on my my Nidoqueen, because I had it originally, but I took it off. So I'm gonna Ice Beam here on the Volcarona switch in, as I'm gonna now go make the play out into my Kecleon. He is going to just fire off the Giga Drain here, I believe, just to get some health back. And here I believe I just go straight for the Rock Slide here, because Volcarona was actually still a big threat to my team. So he makes the play out into his Zero Aura on my Rock Slide. And despite me not being fully attack invested on this Kecleon, I still get off a good chunk of damage to this Zero Aura. So I'll make the only play out into my Nidoqueen here, as he makes the hella obvious knockoff play, because he knows I need my Assault Vest on my Kecleon. So he's now going to make the switch out and go back out into the Volcarona here, as I'm just going to fire off get my rocks up this turn, because I couldn't let him just constantly switch in and out without him being punished for making these constant switches for free. I go make the aggressive play out into my Noivern this time, expecting him to double out into maybe his Hydreigon or something along those lines, but he goes for the Fire Radiance here, gets the special attack boost, and I'm like, okay, I can go for a Hurricane here, and I'm going to actually connect the Hurricane and knock out the Volcarona, but I'm like, oh crap. Because I'm leftovers on this Noivern, my only way of preventing webs now is he goes on the Smeargle here, I'm like, okay, I have to hit a Hurricane. If he gets up his webs here, I'm kind of screwed here, but I do hit the Hurricane, we knock out the Smeargle, and I'm guaranteed playing with no webs. So after that terrible turn 1, I take out the Volcarona and the Web Setter, so I'm like, okay, I have a chance now. But then this other threat comes in called Mega Aerodactyl, and he clicks Rock Slide, takes out my Noivern, but then again, Noivern's job was already done once it took out the Smeargle, so yeah, I'm happy with that. I will take that trade 110% of the time. So I'll go out into my Greninja here. I'm just going to fire off an Ice Punch, because it was literally a no drawback play. He makes the aggressive play out into his Hydreigon here on my Ice Punch, which is just going to cleanly 2-hit KO this thing. Even if I end up getting a crit, which kind of sucks for my opponent, but I'm just going to outspeed and knock out the Hydreigon with the next Ice Punch, and now he goes out into his Zero Aura. I'm now going to make the play, go back out into my Nidoqueen, and with his main response to Ice Beam is now gone, and with me not having Earth Power, Ice Beam is super free against this team because all I need to do now is get a little bit more chip damage off of the Zero Aura, and my Buzzwole can just come right in and click Ice Punch and potentially win the game right here. But it all comes down to whether or not his Mega Aerodactyl is still speed creeping my Coco. And if he's max speed, then he has a chance to outspeed me and knock out my Buzzwole with the wing attack. So my Noivern goes down here. I go out into my Scarf Buzzwole, and I'm just going to fire off the Ice Punch, as he is going to try to get some chip damage with the revealing the quick attack, but it's going to be all for naught as the Zero Aura is going to drop to the Ice Punch. I get my Beast Boost, and all he has left is the Superior and the Mega Aerodactyl. In comes the Superior, and he's actually going to end up forfeiting right here, so yeah, because it pretty much signifies the fact that he ended up forfeiting at the end there pretty much ensured that his Mega Aerodactyl was indeed speed creeping my Coco, which meant that my Scarf Buzzwole outsped it. And even if he did go Aerodactyl and take on my Buzzwole, I had a Scarf Greninja, which would just Ice Punch the rest of his team. And then my Kecleon, if anything, could still take a +2 Leaf Storm from the Superior and knocked it out with the Fire Punch. So yeah, that's going to end up being technically a 3-0 win in my favor. GG to Koala. I know that he took a chance with me potentially missing Hurricane with my Noivern, but Noivern came in so clutch, hitting that Hurricane on the Smeargle, because like I said, I did not appreciate webs going up on my team at all, especially considering if he got them up and then he went hard Superior on my Defog, and I gave him an evasion boost, which made Hurricane even harder to hit, and it would have basically just came down to luck at that point. And fortunately for me, after that terrible turn 1, luck ended up being on my side at the end with Noivern hitting those 2 Hurricane, the main one being on the Smeargle, but nonetheless, we are now 6-0 at the halfway point of the season, sitting pretty on top of the conference. So yeah, really fun game. I really have to do some extra work and make sure some of this doesn't happen again. But nonetheless, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, feel free to leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And that is going to be it from me. And until the next time, this is Tone, signing out for now. Peace out.